Situational awareness, following the last daily quote, where I looked at the quote by Abraham Hicks, who said, if something seems off, it is. And that's true. If something seems off, it is. Now, we are all born with an internal radar. It's called our intuition, our gut feeling. And the reason these days in 2026 that so many people get attacked is because that radar is complete shit. It's not that it's not working properly, it's just that it's complete shit. And the people who do get attacked are not reading that shit radar correctly. Now, believe it or not, we live in a polite society. Yes, we know there's very high levels of medieval violence, third world violence brought into Western countries from individuals living in third world countries. There's no getting away from that. Now, why is our radar shit and why are so many people getting attacked? There is a theory that explains this called the distance from discord, and I'll do a different post on that, but briefly what that means is that the further from discord, the bigger the distance from discord, the less likely you are going to be used to violence. You're going to train in violence or even train your radar, because that radar needs to be trained. Now, the people who come over from third world countries, they are used to this level of violence, this medieval violence. Now, we've gone from the prehistoric era, where we definitely weren't the top of the food chain, through the ancient times, through the medieval times, where we had to be good at violence. And if we weren't very good at violence, our radar would be shit hot, because we needed to survive. Now, we've moved away from all that, and the reason now is our intuition is not as good as it was, because the violent level, even though we think it's high today, is nowhere as near as what it was back in history. So that radar is not working as it would have done back then. Now, we've also decided, partly through governments, partly through ourselves, partly through living in societies that become politer as we've moved along that timeline, we don't need to defend ourselves. We don't need to train to protect our families, and we're not protecting ourselves through our first line of defense, which is situational awareness. That is our radar, and that's where we need to fix the radar. Let me take I'm driving at the moment, so let's take the car as an analogy. So yes, I knew how a car worked before I learned how to drive, back when I was a young man in the military. Didn't mean I could drive just because I knew how it worked. Needs petrol, there's an engine, great, what else? What do I do? So you need to be taught how to drive at a basic level, getting a bit more advanced to pass your test, and then doing advanced driving and, driving as best you can. But you have to be taught. You have to be taught all the gears, how to change gear, how to use the clutch, the emergency stop, all the tools in your dashboard. You learn how to read the road, how to be situationally aware. And this is the funny thing, isn't it? And what I find funny is that as soon as somebody gets behind a wheel, they're situationally aware, they're reading the road, they're looking out for obstacles on the road, they're reading road signs, they're looking out for pedestrians, dogs, kids running out all over the place. They're not doing that on the street when the threat is more prevalent there. They don't do it. As soon as they get out of the car, they don't. But here's the thing, when we're looking at situational awareness, when we're looking at violence and being attacked and everything else, that is because the bad guys out there, they're looking for that. They're looking for you being unaware. Now, go back to the car. What's happened when you've had a crash? If you've ever had a crash, you've been distracted. You're fiddling with your radio, you're fiddling with your phone, you're chatting and laughing and joking with your friends. You've dropped something on the floor which you're trying to get. For that few split seconds, you're not situationally aware, and then you have a crash. Pretty much like you being switched off walking down the street and you get attacked. that is a really good analogy, really. You need to be able to be situationally aware on the road, driving, and then transpose that to when you're walking. Because that's what we're doing when we're walking down the street. We're breaking the ground up into, at a basic level, we're breaking the ground up into three sections: the close ground, the middle ground, and the far ground. And we need to observe everything that's going on within that. Now, you need to be able to train in this. This is our radar being trained to switch on. Think of yourself as a ship. You in there are the captain of your ship. Now you can decide, yes, I'm going to go forward, backwards, left, right, make decisions. That's you as the captain, but you don't make all the decisions. You can't control your body temperature. You can't tell yourself to cool down. You can't tell yourself to heat up. You can't tell yourself to go and take a shit. You can decide when you get those feelings, when your engineer, part of your subconscious, who's running all the internal organs, tells you that's what you need to make a decision on. Then you make that decision. Now, this is where our radar comes in, because you don't control that radar physically. You don't control your intuition, your gut feeling. You're not in control of it. That's the radar operator as part of your subconscious in there. That's when it pings up. But you can help by training it. And then it's you that makes that decision. Okay, the radar's just said, we've got a problem. There's a guy down the road there, he's eyeing up everybody. Or there's a group of people over there that look drunk, they're annoying people over there. When you train that radar operator, part of your subconscious, on what to look for, that's what we're after. And that should be running in the background like a computer program. Now you've all heard you've probably heard of the term head on a swivel. And that's correct when you start doing this, when you start learning this, because you're physically looking. It's not your radar in the background now. You're physically looking for threats. And that's how it is when you first start this. But as you get better at it, as you become more attuned to your surroundings, your baselines and everything else that's there, that needs then to start to run in the background. And then your head's not on a swivel. I mean, yes, I still look at people. I'm still tactically profiling people as I'm walking down the street. Now, as a bodyguard working worldwide, I've worked on every continent, looked after a variety of people, worked in war zones, civil war zones, places where there's been really high levels of medieval violence, with clients who've got a variety of death threats on them, kidnap threats and everything else. So I need to attune my radar to that specific work location, and so do you. Your home, your work location, where you live generally, but then again when you go on holiday. Your intuition, your inbuilt radar has to be trained. You need to bring it in line with what it was back in prehistoric, ancient and medieval times, to be able to not get into the shit in today's age. Because if you leave it as it is now without any training, it's just a matter of time before you get attacked. You can train with me in person. You can train with me through my workshops where I discuss all this, or you can actually purchase those PowerPoints and the worksheets from my website. The link's in the bio there, and it's a full course you can do there, so you can do it different ways. Let me know, do you train your radar? If you do you actually acknowledge it? Do you act on it? Have you not trained on it? Do you ignore your intuition, your good feelings? Let me know, drop a comment. My name's Rock, this is Viper Tactical Training. Stay dangerous.